This episode is brought to you by thebabatradingco.com. Every journey begins with the bag you pack. The Men's Rise bag is smart, sleek, and sophisticated. Let us help lighten the load. Visit us now at thebabatradingco.com. That's THEBABA tradingco.com.
Today on the Chat and Chew Show,
relationships, what type of relationships? And so my wheels just started spinning, which you guys know we had a meeting and I was like, well, what do you think about this? So I guess, at first I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. And then as we talked about it more, I was like, oh yeah, I got this. So yeah, I'm super excited. Have reached out to several people. You're gonna see some new faces, audience and viewers. And I think that you're gonna be in for a treat this next season.
Hey Chat Tribe, it's been a while since we've had one of our classic episodes of Ask the Coach with our resident life coach, Donecia Norwood-Smith. Coach Donecia is passionate about cultivating ideas and making them a reality. With over 20 years of experience in advising and coaching in various arenas, including secondary and higher education, fitness, and nutrition, her desire is to see people live life purposefully and thrive in mind, body, and soul. Donecia is a wife, mother of two, and co-owner of Influential LLC, a speaking, coaching, and consulting company she co-owns with her husband, Reverend Dr. Efrem Smith. Today on the Chat and Chew Show, Coach Donecia has some good news to share about an additional role that she's taking on as an integral part of the show, as well as some new endeavors of her own. And don't worry, we've got questions for her too. So get ready to take notes for this session of Ask the Coach. We're talking about some new ventures here, and we have with us Donecia. Coach Donecia, how are you?
Hey everyone, I am doing fantastic and so excited to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me back.
Yes. Well, you all know Coach Donecia is not a stranger to the show. She is our coach, our resident coach. And we've been doing Ask the Coach, especially a lot more in probably our first season, if you guys were with us from the beginning. And so we're excited to see her again and see her on camera with us for this full episode. So Donecia, how's it been going for you?
Yeah, this season has it's not for the weak. That's for sure. We have experienced a lot of transition in our faith, in our work, in our family. But it's all good stuff. It's leading us to a place of submission to one another in a deeper context in our relationship. It's also bringing us to a place of clarity and next steps. And I'm all about moving forward. Mm-hmm. So I have been super, super busy with some activities I can't wait to tell you about in a few minutes.
Oh, nice. And then how, for you as our resident coach, how's the experience been with Chat and Chew Show? Doing the Ask the Coach and the random questions that have come to you over the years?
Some of them kind of stump me, especially some from our audience and viewers about family and dynamics between father and son. I don't have, I just acquired a son, but I don't have a physically son that I birthed. But those dynamics are new to me in some regard. So I definitely had to appeal to some of my support system and confidants. I had even asked them the same questions you guys asked me and said, what do you guys think about this? And did a little bit more research. But I love being asked and direction and giving support, helping people move forward. That's my passion. So yeah, it was pretty cool to be challenged in that way. Right on the spot. Because I'm a person who likes to dig a little deeper before I respond. So I thank you for the challenge. I thank you, and I'm here for it.
So Donecia is being modest too, in that we have a nickname. I've known Donecia for many years, and we Coach Donecia, and we have a nickname for her. We call her the mother. And the reason that we do is, you guys, this girl knows like literally everything about when it comes to about how to live life, or if something's wrong with you. So we're like, Donecia, one of the boys have a rash. What do you think? She's like, girl, this is what you need to do. I'm like, Donecia, we're dealing with this kind of situation at work. What should I do? And she's like, this is what you need to do. Like, I've always known you to be a person who can solve problems, like in a real life, give me for real what to do type of way. And so to see that you are now in the later years of your life, you are like literally a coach is just amazing. So don't let her nice talking right now fool you. Like I have to consult with my friends. No, this girl, she already has it in her. She is amazing, amazing. So we are, you guys know already that Vanessa has resigned from the Chat and Chew show, but I believe Vanessa's coming back though, honestly. But and so Donecia's new role then is going to be accepting. Not only will she be asked the coach, but you're also going to be filling in as an interim chat producer.
Yes.
So tell me, what you think when we were like, Donecia, you think you could fill in as the producer? What were you feeling about that? Like for real?
Yeah, let me just tell our viewers, I feel like Betty and Roxanne think they're like, okay, girl, this is what we need. Can you provide blah, blah, blah? And I have this magic box that I can just pull stuff out the box, right? So when they approached me about being a producer, I was like, what you talking about, Willis? What you really want me to do, right? So I had no idea. That some of the work that I had been doing in my past would lead me to this point in my present, helping people coordinate events and planning things and seeking out speakers and authors and just people to have conversations with. I've been doing that probably all my life as a college and career center, transition coach. So when you asked me, I was like, okay, now how am I going to find some people for the show? We're talking about relationships. What type of relationships? And so my wheels just started spinning, which you guys know, we had a meeting and I was like, well, what do you think about this? So I guess, at first I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. Mm-hmm. And then as we talked about it more, I was like, oh yeah, I got this. So yeah, I'm super excited. Have reached out to several people. You're going to see some new faces, audience and viewers. And I think that you're going to be in for a treat this next season.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like no joke, when you said brainstorming, I mean, like in 5 minutes, it's like, what about these 10 people? What? And they were all really good people with interesting stories. And I'm like, yeah, right now, yes, please. So it was such a blessing because also Vanessa was on that call with us, and even for her, she just mentioned how she felt even better knowing like we were in good hands.
Oh,
so because it's hard walking away from anywhere, like because I mentioned the last episode with Vanessa that we weren't beefing or anything. So it's hard as a person to walk away from a good situation and not knowing how they're gonna fill your shoes and everything. And so, the way things were rolling off your tongue, it just made everybody way more comfortable for that transition. So I'm really grateful for you stepping in.
Oh, absolutely. It's my pleasure. And I just want to put a plug out to our audience too. Say, hey, listen, if you know someone who would be great to be on this show that you want to hear and learn a little bit more from, we encourage you to message us. Matter of fact, get your phone out, go to IG right now, go to our page and send us some information about who you want to see, because this is all about you. And we just want to live life better and have lots of fun while we do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And Donecia is really well connected. So like we were like joking, like, okay, then since you know all these people, how about, and then we started naming like these big names, Beyonce.
I was like, wait a minute.
Oprah. This is all the people we want, but yeah, so I man, that just, we're excited to hear from our audience and then to get some people that they want to hear from too. So as you guys know too, that we do a segment and our goal is to try to do it every month and ask the coach. So if you do have questions, please send those in. But we thought today, Donecia, don't get scared.
They're going to stump me.
We're going to ask the coach. What advice would you give someone who is experiencing what I'm calling post-traumatic syndrome from this pandemic? And they are just living every day, just anxious and scared and nervous about what could happen or not knowing what's happening in the future. So like living in uncertainty.
Excellent question. And that's the question that many of my clients over the last year have been wrestling with. Just the fear, like I could die. I have 2 small children, and what's going to become of them? Who's going to care for them? So yeah, advice. Whew. I'm like, first of all, let's just take a pause and breathe, because let's acknowledge that we are here in this space. You are here and you are present right now here today, which means that there's something left for you to do. I have been working hard to encourage my clients to focus on your passion and your goals, because when you work hard in your passion and your goals, that becomes your immediate focus. The other is in the background. It hasn't disappeared. It's not going to go away. I don't know if Corona will ever go away, but just like other diseases, they have not gone away either. We just kind of suppress them. Right? Through various medical means or through our adaptation as human beings and our ecosystems. So with that being said, we focus on what's in front of us. What's in front of us is there is something that you desire passionately to do. And there's something in you that you want to birth and fulfill and grow and be. The hardest question in this was when my daughter said, "Mama, is this the end? Is this the end?" She's 22. She's 22, getting ready to step out in her life. There's some goals and things that she wants to accomplish. She's single, not married. If y'all got some sense, you might be able to DM her. I'll get to that later. But, there's some things in her that she desires to passionately build and be. And she's asking this question at 22, is this the end? And while it gripped my heart with everything, my response with her was, I don't know. I don't know. But what you can do in the season of I don't know is continue to pursue what it is God has called you to do. So for her, she wants to be a psychologist. She wants to work in clinical and mental health. Kind of sounds like me. But anyway, she wants to do that. And I said, God has allowed you this opportunity to go to school. We're going to move you to this place, and you dig your heels in and you do it, and you do it with everything in your being, and let that drive you to the next day. So we do things one step at a time, one day at a time. It's like when you eat a meal, you don't consume the whole meal in one bite. You take one bite and you enjoy it and it's satisfying and it's so good. You take another bite. Let that be the same with life. Find the good things in your life, chew on those, and let that propel you to your future.
Now, what would you say to people who are in the household and you're the anxious one, because you know what that does to you? When you're anxious and stressed and all that, you start snapping off at everybody, criticizing everybody, or that kind of thing. What is one thing you could say to a mom or a friend or whoever who's living that way? What would you say to them to get them to calm themselves on down? Because you can't do relationships better when you're just like, yeah.
And trust me, when we were all in the house together, it was like, don't touch my mug.
Right.
So what we had to do, our house is big enough where we can kind of go to our neutral corner. You got to find your neutral corner. Where is your corner of your house, if it is your house, or your apartment even? Where is that safe space? Is it the bathroom? Sometimes we tell our kids to take a time out. We as adults need a timeout. Take a time out, take a pause, move away from the scene. Say, give me 5 minutes. Let me just give you 5 minutes and I'll come right back to you. Or, you got little ones. Okay. Put them in a safe, contained space, because, little ones get into everything, right? I'm going to put you right here, give them the little activity toys. We're going to take a 5-minute break. You can talk to your kids, not baby talk to your kids. It's okay. They understand. They do. But everybody needed to take a time out, take a step away, so you can breathe, clear your head, clear your thoughts, and know that your immediate threat is not right there in front of you. It's not. That your home is your safe space, and you have to work to create that safe space. And if you're constantly going at each other, it's no longer safe. It's becoming toxic. So you have to remove yourself from the immediate space, right? The immediate proximity of whoever it is that's kind of setting you off at the time. Take a pause, and then re-engage. I also tell people, look, find a book, read something positive, turn off the TV. The TV becomes a speaker box for everything that's toxic sometimes. Sometimes you can find some good stuff, but 99% of the time during the pandemic, everything was about the coronavirus. Everything. And it messes with your psyche. It messes with your heart. It messes with how you move and groove out your house. I had a client who was afraid to walk outside their front door. So my coaching with them was go out the back door.
Okay.
Go out the back door. In your backyard, step outside into the sun. Let the sun nourish you. That vitamin D is so important, not just for your skin, for the melanin in your skin, but for your overall mind. It gives you clarity. It warms our bodies and it warms our souls. So step out into the backyard and breathe in. And when you walk back in, you know that it's okay to go back outside. So those are some of the things that I encourage people to do.
That is good.
Yeah.
That is good. I need to go do a timeout right now. No.
Take your time out. Find your happy place.
Are you saying that's what you should have done earlier today?
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So the boys, woo. But I made a decision. I said, I'm not going to go nuts. I'm just going to be prepared, because I know, especially on the weekends, they are just all over the place. But
and we can prepare to the best of our ability, but there's going to be some things that's going to just take our breath away for 2 seconds, but for people of faith, you got to remember that source, tap into that source. Don't ignore it. Don't try and do things in your own power. If you're a person of faith, if you're not a person of faith, then you have to recognize that, like I said, your threat is not immediately in front of you. And it's okay to remove yourself for a few minutes. You're not disengaging. You're not disassociating from what's going on. You are removing yourself so that that trigger doesn't take you to a place you can't come back from.
Yeah. Wow, that's good. That's good. So you see what you're in for with Ask the Coach. Oh, that is so good. Well, Donecia, Coach Donecia, we are so excited to have you on the team as one of the show's producers. But I know you have another business too that you and your husband run. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your business?
Yeah, so we have Influential LLC. Influential is a speaking, consulting, and coaching business, for-profit business, where we work with clients who are in the secular or corporate sector. We also work with ministries to help them grow and thrive, from church planters to pastor spouses, to companies looking to become more inclusive in their diversity and how to engage other cultures. And then, of course, my husband is a speaker and author, so I book all his engagements for that. In addition to that, I have added a new certification to the coaching, and that's in brain spotting. Brain spotting is a process, a therapeutic process of working with people who have deep trauma, to help them in a more mindful practice of being very attuned to what's going on and moving them forward. So the way it works pretty much is I have a client, they tell me their issue. I ask a couple of questions, and through those questions, we get deeper and deeper as to what's the source of the trauma or getting towards the source of the trauma. It's a mindfulness practice because we use some bilateral music to help the brain get more focused into that middle part where you hide stuff. And these sounds, it's like waves crashing, or it could be, I don't know, like those little people walking on rocks. Sometimes it sounds like these bilateral sounds help open up the brain activity, right? Because you're so focused on what is that it triggers something where you then begin to talk and spill, if you will, those things that you probably hadn't even know were stuck inside you for years and years and years, or even since you were a child. In the brain spotting process, we have had clients even go back to moments of their triumphant entry into society when they were born. Like they can go back and even remember some of the things. And it's an amazing process. In that process, some people, the wounds that they've carried for so long or suppressed, they come out in various ways. They cry. Sometimes they're silent, they can't say anything. But as their coach, I sit and I hold this sacred space and keep them safe, so that they don't harm themselves or others as they process all the stuff that needs to come out. The problem with us is when we have a traumatic experience, it's housed and we feel it in different parts of our body. So you might have a backache. My back hurt. It could be that you're holding anger. Your bunion might hurt on your foot. Right. And you're like, why is my bunion hurting? Why is it throbbing? These things that we feel in the body are also connected to what's going on in our mind. And so in the brain spotting process, we identify what's going on in your body. we connect it to what's happening in your mind. You begin to process and figure out what the source is, where it came from, how to overcome it. And on the other side, after a few sessions, you may not have the pain in your back. You may not have that pain in your foot. You may not have that tightness in your chest because you're holding on to all this stuff because you were able to release it.
That is so good. Wow. Roxy, I saw your eyes light up.
I know, no, because I really do love like studies about the brain and body. Because I am a believer too of just like trauma and stuff being held in the body. And then also I'm fascinated just how the brain works. Like I literally just came from this weekend, the Art Tech House, they're doing the life of a neuron. And so it's just I literally like watch neurologists speak like all day on YouTube. So this is like my jam. So that's why you saw me like, because like, wait, what? Tell me. Anytime someone says something about the brain, I'm like, what? Tell me more.
Yeah.
So that's very cool. I've actually I've experienced the whole like just release of things that you're not sure, where I wasn't even sure what it was, but like I ended up crying because I did like tapping. There's also a thing called tapping on different parts of the body too. And it just released stress and trauma that I didn't even know I had. And I've also experienced like, you know, having back pain or something and like going through a session and not having it anymore. So I'm definitely a believer, and that's super cool.
Yes, there are probably, I don't know, I think at this point we probably have over 20,000 brain spotters across the country, and probably even more globally. It is a very rapidly growing process of addressing mental health. And, you know, I don't believe anything happens by accident. My first on-ramp during COVID in dealing with trauma healing was I participated with the American Bible Society, a trauma healing facilitator class on how to become a facilitator. But I was looking for something that wasn't specifically biblically based because my clients are broad spectrum. So I was introduced then by a local therapist here in Sacramento who said, you know what, you're doing coaching and I see something deeper in your coaching. I want you to consider this. And so he presented it to me as another level of helping people move forward in their healing, which is like the magic buzzword for me. When you say healing and forward, I'm in. So I went through the training, pretty intense stuff, because like counselors and therapists, you have to then go through sessions yourself and on a regular basis. And there was stuff I didn't even know I had.
Wow.
Let me just put it like that. Okay. I was like, what y'all, you know, I'm going through the training, what y'all crying about? Everybody, what in the world, you know, because I have my skepticism. So I'm like, what is this? What is really going on? And I tell you what, after my second session, I was like, oh, okay. I see you. Yeah. But it has really, you know, Betty will tell you, I'm kind of introverted. So it has really helped my confidence and just the whole energy I present now, stepping out just a little bit more, moving forward, and how I show up in different spaces. I'm telling you, this brain spotting thing is amazing. If you don't have a brain spotter in your area, I encourage you to look for one in your area and try it out. You will be utterly amazed.
Now, does it have to be done face-to-face or can you do it virtually?
Yes. So yes and yes. You can do it in person or virtually. So a lot of my clients are virtual.
Okay.
I have a few, those who have a little bit deeper trauma. We have a whole assessment process that I use in partnership with the therapist I'm working with. They would determine, you know, this person really needs a face-to-face. And I'm like, okay. So we work together to do that, but both practices work.
Wow. I know Roxanne's a coach also, and of course, Coach Donecia. And when I listen to you guys talk about it, both of you light up, but I always just wonder, how do you carry this trauma from other people? Like, it just feels so, I know you have to do something to get it off of you. I'm gonna ask you that, Roxanne, what do you do when you discover something from your client that you're like, whoa, you know?
Well, I can say for me, I treat each session itself as a journey rather than, so, and the way I mean that is, so when I go into the session, for me, I try to actually be like super centered myself, where I'm not like bringing in my stuff and everything into the session. So I'm kind of like a whiteboard, if you will, for the person to talk and like, and really just almost like being a blank white room. Like, I'm just here, you talk, I'm just here, right? But at the same time, as they release and everything, I don't feel like it's my responsibility to take it. Like, there's like me, them, and then the space in the room. So they can release it into the space in the room and we can look at it and we can talk about it, but I don't have to take it with me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so I don't walk away yet. Like, I do have some empathy and everything that, share with them like in that moment. But at the same time, I don't walk away holding it. It's all about, like, for me, a lot of times I walk away with like that little light bulb of like, oh, I'm so glad they saw that, or whatever the case may be. But I think it's more so like your personal practice too, as a coach, because you do have to practice even with your own emotions, like setting yourself apart from them and seeing them and observing them and not necessarily having to carry everything around.
I see. Yeah.
No.
Wow.
Yeah, I would add to that before each session I do a kind of a mindful meditation where I'm kind of, I don't want to say cleansing myself, but for lack of better words, it feels like a cleansing of myself. It's an emptying of myself so that I don't carry my stuff into session. Right. So I have a couple of things I read. I have some music that I listen to. I have a prayer that I pray prior to session. When the client comes into session, we do some deep breathing exercises. Especially when I'm doing brain spotting, because I feel like there's some nervous tension there because they don't know what's going to happen per se, and I sure don't know what's going to happen because I'm following their lead. But that by inhaling and exhaling, that's like sometimes I'll say inhale peace, exhale joy. Because that whole process of breathing helps to calm the heart down. We don't want the heart racing during session. We want you to come at a place where you're neutral and calm so that you can begin to have a place to process. And at the end of session, we do some more deep breathing, right? And when I'm finished with the client, I go back and I do some more meditation. So I make sure I have at least a 30-minute space, sometimes 45 between clients, so that I can have that time to replenish. I'm giving out, I'm receiving, even though if I don't think I am, I'm receiving some stuff. And I gotta replenish my soul and nurture that. Along with that, it is required for us that we have a coach and or a therapist, and we meet with that person either once a month or twice a month.
That's good. That is good. So if anyone wants to contact you, you want to tell them how they can reach out to you, Donecia?
Absolutely. So the best way right now, I would say, would be to send me a DM, a message on Instagram at Coach Donecia, Coach Coach Donecia, Donecia. Or you can message me through my website, which is www.influentialglobal.com.
Cool. Donecia, it was so great having you. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to do some more Ask the Coach episodes. And then Roxy, you want to tell our audience where they can find us?
Yes, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Chat and Chew Show. And also, if you're on YouTube, please click the subscribe button and subscribe, press the bell to get notifications, and follow and like and share and stuff.
And stuff.
And
guys, we have some great episodes coming up. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss them.
I know.
I'm just looking forward to it. So, but cool. This was such a great episode. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to this one. This is one that I need to take some notes. I think what I got out of it, and I know we're supposed to be ending right here, but that whole bob and weave, that was pretty amazing. And then just understanding about, there could be trauma in my life that I've been carrying. That's why I feel, pain and such in my body or discomfort in my body. And so speaking to someone can help bring that stuff out in, because the goal is to be better in life. You want to be better. everything isn't going to be perfect, but like you guys are saying, both, I want to move forward. I want to be able to move forward. And if trauma is stopping me or whatever, I want to deal with that and then move forward. But anyway, all right. Okay. All right. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
This episode is brought to you by the Chat and Chew Company, host Betty Jones and co-host Roxanne Brew. Today's producer is Donecia Norwood-Smith. Original theme music by Elwood Jones and Roxanne Brew.